What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Crossroads Rebuild. My name is Steven, and today we're back on the 328xi manual. Looking forward to getting this car put back together. As you've seen, it's come back to us, and it is all ready to go back together. And actually, well, as you saw at the beginning of this video, I did begin assembling the rear door the other day. Got super dark on me, super cold. And as it seems to go, it was just one thing after another fighting me. So I ended up doing a little bit of work off camera after that was done. But today I'm getting ready to get back into there, finish assembling that rear door, then assemble the front door that we had to take apart, and then of course continue on to the interior, get that car ready to go. Before we get started on that though, let me show you who has come home to us. It's the 335IS. Let's take a look. And there she is, looking hot. Well, she's missing some parts still. I actually have the bumper already painted, ready to go, but I'm not ready to put it on yet. But as you can see, she is home and looking good. Obviously, the worst of the damage was not this side. It was actually this side over here. So really, this whole side of the car has been painted. New fender, suspension, headlight there, whole front area has been replaced. Of course, we repainted the hood as well. New front glass. Whole lot of work left to go on this car, but super stoked to have this one back. So stay tuned, because I'll have a video update bringing you up to date on the 335IS and everything we've done from the last video you saw to now getting it ready to come home today. Anyway, enough of that. I need to get this car actually out of the way for a minute so that I can then pull the 328 out, put this one in the garage, and then I'm going to work on the 328 outside. Let's go. Alrighty guys, now that everything is in place, I will go ahead and show you what I've done so far, and then we'll get back to work. As you can see, we do have a working door handle now. If you look closely, you can tell my gaps aren't great, and I just need to adjust the hinges and especially the striker there, and that'll take care of that. I do have the seal in place, which is a pain. I did not do this on video. I think I'm going to do actually a separate little how-to video specifically for anyone who's looking for how to do that. But I got it in there. As much of a work as it was, it is now in place and it's working fine. Actually, it looks like I need to snap that in a little better. But in any case, that's all in place. I've got the glass dropped in the door and I've got the regulator in there, but that's actually where I need to pick up where I stopped the other day. Need to finish getting the regulator attached to the window, get it all mounted in there, and then that'll be good to go. And that's probably where I'll stop with this door for tonight, and I will move on to this door. Now you remember, this is the one that had the handle that was messed up and it got double locked. So I need to figure that whole mess out and hopefully get that sorted out so that I can get the door handle back in and have that door functional, get the glass back in it and all of that, because I need glass in it since it's going to start living outside, since the 335IS is now our garage queen, at least for the time being. Anyway, that brings you up to date, and well, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to work putting these doors together. Wish me luck. It's like 20 something degrees out here. It's super cold, but we got to get it done, right? Let's go. Guys and gals, I have the rear glass in on this door, and well, so when the car was wrecked, or when I got the car, window was all the way up. That being said, that shouldn't be relevant, except for some reason none of the power windows or the mirrors work in the car. Now I've been hunting down fuses. There were a pile of missing fuses, and I'm not sure why. I replaced the ones that I think are relevant to the windows, and I still have no power. That being said, there are still a couple other fuses that are missing, and maybe it's possible that they have something to do with it. Anyway, all that being said, I'll figure the fuses out. The problem was, even with the window pushed all the way up, you see in here you've got this green piece here, and that has to clip into this little hole in the bottom of the window. That's what the window rides up and down on the regulator here. So with that piece all the way up at the top of the regulator, I was able to get it kind of clipped into the window, but I could not get the regulator itself to lock into the right position. I don't know exactly what was stopping me, but nonetheless, that was my problem. So I had to get the window lowered. Since I couldn't get the fuses to fix the problem with being able to use the windows, my next attempt was, remember I showed you I just got another BMW back, same generation, that's an E93, so it's still a same generation. In fact, they're the same year, they're both 2011s. So I came over here to the passenger door and unplugged the regulator there. I plugged this regulator into it and wound it partway down. I thought I was kind of a genius for figuring that out. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you think so as well. Except for I do technically still have one more problem, which is, well, now the window's not shut. So it's in there, it's half shut, and all that's installed now, but I still need to figure that out. So moving on, we'll figure that out, or I'll tape it off or something if I have to for a couple of days. I have replaced the latch mechanism that went bad. Brand new one in here, put everything back together, and I have the door handle installed, and it is working. It's a little bit stiff. It doesn't want to shut all the way, but if you shut it hard, it shuts just fine. I probably just need to adjust the striker, but nonetheless, it is working. And so now we have working door handles on this. So with that status update out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and try to get this window reinstalled as well, so that we can close it up. We'll see. I may end up running into the same problem as this one, but one way or the other, let me go ahead and get this glass and regulator installed so we can call these doors, at least on the outsides, fully assembled. I'm not going to put door panels on any of them for the time being, but I do need to at least get the doors closed off. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to work and check in with you shortly. Alrighty, well, this is where I'm going to cut off for the night. I did get our front window installed and the regulator in. It was already down that far, so I did not have to move it, but that does mean that it is stuck in a similar position to this rear one. I guess I can peel this tape off. Anyway, so I've got the doors put back together and functioning, which is great. But I'm not sure what to do about these windows. So I think for the time being, I'm just gonna go ahead and tape these off. It is getting quite late out. Looks brighter in the camera than it is, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and tape these off so it can sit outside, because again, we have the IS sitting in there now, and I'm happy that I got two functional doors again. And I will continue to work on figuring out the window situation later. I've checked all the fuses I know to check. I'm sure I'll need to go through it all again. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for the night. So I'll see you in just a moment. And we are back. As you can see, the car is sitting here ready to go. We've got daylight. And it's cold, but it's a little bit warmer, so I am ready to get going on this car. Did a couple small things off camera, and one or two things that aren't so small. As you can see, all of the windows are rolled up. I had to install 20 plus fuses into the fuse block in this car. I have no idea what the previous owner was doing, or shop, or whoever did it, but somebody had taken a pile of fuses out of this car, and replacing those got me part of the way. One window started working, front passenger window. I have no idea. I do know that I had a problem with the driver switch panel, you know, that has all four switches plus the deactivator, the one that locks off the windows. Someone had spilled something in there and it was all gummed up, so I replaced that, and that still didn't bring it back. And after much research and scratching my head, I finally found a post on one of the BMW forums referring to an issue that has to do with the way BMW controls every aspect of this car with a computer, but effectively saying that the driver's side mirror can have a short in it or a problem with it that somehow confuses the system, and it can cause other things to stop working, like the windows. Now, I have no idea why that front passenger window worked when nothing else did, but as soon as I unplugged that mirror and let it sit for 1 minute, power cycled the car, suddenly all the windows worked. So, maybe that'll help you if you're having that problem. But in any case, I have all my windows up, and I actually got my title back, so I am good to go on this car as well. As far as driving it, it's registered and ready to go, except it's not really ready to go. So what I'm going to concentrate on today is getting the exterior of the car buttoned up, making it look nice, getting it cleaned up, and then we'll hop on the interior and start putting it together. I may do a little cleaning on it to get it at least presentable for driving, but I'm going to concentrate primarily on the exterior today. So with the nice daylight that I have, I'm going to go ahead and get to work putting the exterior together. Let's get started. Okay, and as you can see, this is where we have left off. Now, off camera, I did go ahead and fix this little piece of trim here, but the next thing I'm going to do is see if I can get this door alignment fixed so that it shuts properly. And then once that's done, I'm going to work on putting all of these exterior parts on. I've got the rocker cover there. Got to take that wheel off and replace the wheel well liner. I've got an underpan that needs to go on, and then the bumper actually needs to be attached all the way along on the bottom. It's snapped in and has like 2 screws in it, but I need to get that buttoned up as well. So that's where I'm going to start, is right here on this side, putting all that back together, and I might go ahead and put some wheels on it as well. I have those ready to go, and they're taking up space in my garage, so it'd be great to put them on the car. We'll see how far we get, but let's go ahead and get the jack out here and get started. Actually, hold on that, no jack yet. Let's go ahead and get this door aligned, then we'll get on that other stuff. Let's go. All right, after fussing with this door for a little while, it's looking a lot better. Decent gaps there. Had to tweak a few things there in the window area and adjust the molding that I'd not quite got snapped all the way in. But as you step back, you see it's looking pretty nice. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put the rocker cover on first. Then I'm going to lift it up, and I'm only going to do that because if I lift it up, I can't get the rocker cover on. So I'm going to get the rocker cover on, then I'm going to lift it up, take that wheel off, put the liner in, and start working on attaching that bumper the rest of the way. And I've also got an underbody panel that goes over there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get onto that. Let's keep going. Alrighty folks, status update here. I have the side skirt on, or rocker cover, whatever we're calling that. I have the wheel well liner in. The bumper has been attached all the way around, and I replaced that underbody panel over here. And of course attached to the rear bumper over here as well. Only thing left on the rear bumper is just tightening these up. I'll get to that in a little bit. That's not stopping us from the next step. As you can see, had to take 2 of the wheels off in order to wrap up tightening up that rear bumper. And I think, since I have half the wheels off anyway, and since these things are ugly as sin, I think it's time to put these on. So let me go ahead and pull these out, show you what we've got, and we'll go ahead and swap out the wheels and tires on the car. I'm very excited. It's going to totally transform the look of this car. Let's go. Alrighty, 4 wheels set out, and let me go ahead and open up one of these things for you so you can take a look at it. This could be interesting one-handed here, but yeah, I'll tell you what, let me put the camera down and I'll show it to you in a second. All right, there we go. And our new wheels look like this. They're kind of I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a grayish color, so they're not bright silver like those, but they're not black. They're and they're not chrome or anything like that. It's got a bit of a sparkle to it. It's really quite gorgeous. I have replacement center casts for them. I'll put those on later, but aren't they gorgeous? Gonna go ahead and get these on the car, so let's keep going. All right, guys, if I could pull a page out of the Goon Squad book, dang, son, look at these wheels. Don't they look awesome? I'll get the caps in there, don't worry about that. But brand new wheels, Moda. They're not real expensive wheels. Got these off of Tire Rack. Got a set of wheels and tires, and there are sensors in here. We got some Michelins on there, and man, these things look so good. Kind of got a little bit of a metallic gray, graphite, I don't know what you call that, going on, but they look so good. Wow, what do you guys think? Give me a thumbs up if you would for that, because doesn't that look awesome? Well, I'm excited, but I've got a little more to do. It's starting to get dark on me, as it tends to do, so I'm gonna go ahead and slap on those last two wheels and a couple little pieces of trim there along the windows, and that's probably about as far as I'll make it tonight. But let me go ahead and get those going. Let's keep going. All right, guys, it has gotten far too dark to work, and I'm tired of wrestling with this black car in the black of night. It's starting to become a little bit of an exercise in futility. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off for the evening here, and I'll catch you tomorrow. And we're back. As you can see, we're not at my house anymore. I want to wrap up this video by taking care of a few last little things on the exterior of the 328 xDrive, and one of those things is getting it cleaned up. It was dirty when I got it from the auction. I did not get it cleaned before I took it into the shop, and of course it got even dirtier when it was in the shop having its body work done. This car is filthy. I've got brand new paint on one side, and then I got the old paint on the other. We're not gonna worry about polishing it or anything like that today. It's just, let's get it clean. And then after I get it clean, I've got one or two last things that I wanna do to it before we wrap up the video. Now, I'm not at my house. Normally, I would just go ahead and clean the car at home with my pressure washer. I've got a foam cannon and all that. But right now, I've got it buried in my garage. Buried behind a bunch of parts for 2 BMW rebuilds, so couldn't get to it, so I brought it to a local car wash where I can wash it myself. Brought my own wash mitt so that I can still be in control of what's being rubbed over the paint on my car. But anyway, they've got the high pressure wash with the soap and all of that, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this for now. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys up on, I guess, a time lapse. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone here to help me get some really cool, close-up shots washing the car like some of those YouTube channels have. One day maybe, but for today, I'm gonna set you guys up to watch while I go ahead and get the car cleaned up, and then we'll take it home. It is 34 degrees, so this is gonna be miserable. Give me a thumbs up for that. All right, guys, let's go. All right, folks, there she is, looking much more respectable. It wasn't quite as miserable as I was expecting it out here. My hands are cold, but otherwise not too bad. But she's clean. But I know what you're thinking, Steven, you better dry that thing off or it's gonna get all spotted. Well, I use what they supposedly call a spot-free rinse, but I am gonna go ahead and take her home now and get her all dried up. I'm gonna show you a few things that we've done and do one or two more things before we wrap up this video. So now that she's clean, let's head back to the house. All right, and there she is, looking the best that I have ever seen her since I got her. Now, I'm starting over here on the side that has not been repaired, and this has not been polished. I know it actually looks better in the camera than it does in person, but this side has not been polished, and really it hasn't even been cared for as far as I can tell from the previous owner. So there are imperfections. Some of that we'll be able to take care of with polish. Other things might not. For example, we've got several dings and little paint chips here on this rear quarter on this side. Some scratches here that I don't know, those might come out with buffing. And then up here on the fender, a little bit as well. I mean, it's not horrible, and it is, you know what, a 10-year-old car now. And I think all in all, considering it's a 10-year-old car that has been rebuilt, she's not really doing too badly. Now this front bumper, definitely showing signs that it's not in great condition. Looks like it's been sandblasted with, I don't know, the same way the hood used to look before we painted it. It's just been rode hard, put away wet, you know? It's all chipped up and kind of dry looking. We can polish it, make it look better. Maybe I'll take it to Jack and have him paint it, I don't know. But then of course, everything that's been painted is looking awesome. Look at that hood. And of course, from this fender all the way down this side has all been painted. Still needs to be cleaned up a little bit more and polished. Actually, I do intend to ceramic coat this car, but with Avalon King. But looking really, really good. Trunk lid looking awesome. Rear bumper looking awesome. All right, before I go ahead and wrap it up for this video, there's one last thing I want to do since I'm just about done with the exterior. As you can see, it's all put back together. The belt line there on the car, the side skirts, of course, we replaced those wheels. How about those wheels? Aren't they gorgeous? I am so excited about those, especially now seeing them in really good daylight. Actually, I'm in the shadows, so maybe this isn't really good daylight, but still, it's daylight. They look good. Anyway, back to what I was saying. There's one last thing that I want to do. So I'm going to put you down for just a second, grab a few supplies, and I'm going to show you something special I've got for the car. Just a little icing on this shiny black cake. Let's go. All right. Well, I think this car needs a little something here on this rear deck lid. And so I got a nice spoiler. This is an M3 style carbon fiber spoiler. I don't know if you can see that real well. I'll give you a close up here in a second. But I got a beautiful lip spoiler here for the back deck here. And it just sits something like that. We'll get it spaced properly here in just a second. That. But that is gonna really dress up this rear deck and give it that extra special little sporty touch that this thing needs. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some double stick tape on it, and then we'll go ahead and get it installed so we can take a look at it. We'll clean up the back of it with some wax and grease remover. Make sure that double stick tape doesn't come off. And since it is pretty cold out here, I'm gonna go ahead and warm it up just a little bit as well. I'll do the same thing to the deck lid before I actually install it. All right, it's all ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and warm up the deck lid a little bit and go ahead and stick it down. Not necessarily looking to make it hot, just looking to make it not cold. All right, let's get this lined up nicely here. All right, and just like that, we have a carbon fiber spoiler. That's just dust. We have a carbon fiber spoiler on the back of our E90, and it looks good. Now, obviously, that tape isn't giving you a very good look at it. We don't really have good sunlight out here anyway, so I'll go ahead and drop a little video from a little later today when we have better light, showing you what it looks like. But even with this tape on it, man, I am excited. I think it looks really good. It really helps set off that deck lid and give it that extra little sporty look, and that carbon fiber looks fantastic on this black paint. All right, guys, well, I got one spoiler installed. Actually, technically I have two. I actually have a roof spoiler that goes right up here. Now we've got a little blemish in the clear coat up here anyway, so it'll serve nicely to cover that up. I'm gonna go ahead and get it out, install it real quick as well, and give you a look at that, and then we'll be done for today. And there is the roof spoiler. What do you guys think about the roof spoiler? Now obviously, again, the tape is not doing it any justice, nor the lack of light. But what do you think? Again, I'll go ahead and insert a little video right here showing you what it looks like in the daylight with the tape removed, both spoilers. I already know I love the rear deck spoiler. Not sure what I think about the roof spoiler. I had a roof spoiler on a car I had in the past, and I really liked it. I'm not sure what I think. Go ahead and drop me a comment below and let me know what you think about the roof spoiler. Is it working for this car or not? Go ahead and ask Erica the same thing. This is primarily her car, so we'll let her have an opinion on that, and if she likes it, we'll keep it. If she doesn't, well, it comes off just as easily. It's just on there with tape. All right, guys, and that is where we're gonna wrap it up for this video. The exterior of the E90 is done. I have one or two mods that I'll end up doing to it aside from the spoilers, but aside from that, the exterior is done. The rebuild portion of the exterior is done. In our next video on the E90, I'll be getting into the interior, putting all that back together, and I've got some special touches for the interior as well, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. Also in that video, I'll be tackling some of the error codes that we have on the dash. We've got several of them, and so I've got something coming that'll help us figure all of that out as well. So stay tuned for the next video. Still a lot of progress to make before we officially put this car back on the road, but she is looking good. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, why don't you go ahead and do that now. Click the bell, you know the drill. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.